Hello, beautiful people, wherever you are. Season 2, which is part 2, coming in about the chase and the downfall of the jackal. Quit the rat race of the fake friends from Mayuguno portfolio. And why is it involved in this kind of the sequence? Which kind of a sequence am I talking about? If donation is not bad, if I'm benefiting, but if another person is benefiting, it's very, very bad. And when we think critically, we absolutely go to the records and uphold our own fugitiveness, where we are, spotted, where are we, who I am. You understand yourself first. We can understand the real meaning of oblivion. Oblivion, to much of the people will be asking about, talking to what is oblivion about it. Oblivion is the entombment and entombment of the situation, whereby only one person wants to benefit, others will never. You have the courtesy of making things to happen, but you cannot involve other people to benefit from whatever you want. The downfall of the jackal. Quitting rat race of fake friends. But you are coming to enlightenment and enlightenment when things have already fallen apart. In the history time, much of the people who are in Kenya, the millennials, they learned about much of the set books, the fallen gates, the fallen of the jackal. This is what we call about the real statement. When we come closer, where are we? Who are we? At what race are we moving? At which kind of the spot are we? When we look clearly and estimate, re-estimate, underrate, and also reunite much of the things which are coming to our own lives, we will come to understand that supporting, which is donation, it is not a bad thing when we are getting it. But it's very bad when other people are getting it. The downfall of the jackal. Jealousy, ego, envy, and luxury life. Their money is not your money. Their money is not your wealth. Much of the people right now, they're declosuring themselves and talking about my downfall is precipitated. And it's brought with this kind of the catastrophic person who is the silent person in the movement of my own system. That's why Samson and Delilah, things happen. The same house eats on itself. They understand the eating you are making and the small eatery I'm making at the same time. Will I be absolute, enlightened when you are getting a bigger share and I'm getting a smaller share, and I have the same quantity and the quantitative value of your same supporters who are making it, and I am having them? Am I going to keep quiet when I see there's a feasting ongoing at that certain level, and I'm sitting at the back talking about I'll wait until they feast, then my feast will come? It will never happen. This is called a man-eat-man society. Feast of a man is another feast of another man. Resembling to the out nature, talk about, it's called a binomial nomenclature of the time, whereby we have to understand the real value about what are you eating. It's called a eat-man society, man-eat-man society. And this is the beginning. Okay. Guys, to this kind of the valuement of today, we're going to be starting with much of the chapters, much of dilutions, much of catastrophic, much of resemblance, much of our own aptitude, legacy, dignity, thresholds. What are we handling to make it happen? We restatement, we statementize, and we understand the act, the chapter, and who we are. Back to the scripture. Today we left in a part whereby we said the coming back of the first wife of Mayuguno back to his villa. This was pressurized with much of the subscribers talking about why are you saying you are the baby daddy and you are the single father, you are pretending to us. Then there's something that made much of the people to be enlightened. And to the real postcoms and the oscoms of the day, we come to realize that there's something that is bifaultively not understood and undertaken in a critical way. We are making ourselves the fugitives of the time, and we are the fugitives who are making ourselves to be the fugitives. Why is it? You are claiming of other people feasting on you, yet you are the person who is cutting yourself and roasting yourself and feasting yourself and talking about, somebody is feasting on me, yet you are the same person defending, uplifting, and ensconcing yourself and getting yourself into this kind of the pogroms. Where is it coming from? The back of the first wife of Mayuguno. She was called Wema with one child called Precious. I talked about Precious was the only girl child who brought much of the enlightenment and the kismet to our boy called Mayuguno at this point. But how can you talk about you are the baby daddy and you are the only single father while the mother is available? What made Mayuguno to say that I am the single father? Number one, the first thing, because from the breakup, talk about the Mayuguno breakup with Wema at the first time. We are outshining her because you have got a lot of money, cerebral money, configurative money, people's money, entitled at your own optimistic time. And when we delutively understand that we are joking with people's minds and talking about, I am the only baby daddy, single baby daddy, no mother is available, it comes to the real consolidation that you have a glitch onto your mind. When the hypothalamus is not making you straight, you should look for the minerals that will make you to be upright. Which kind of this mineral is it not making Mayuguno upright? And why did he chase the first wife? Because of the second wife who came with a luxurious body, contemplament body, holy body, that she was a black, and the honey she was evolving and squirting out, it was a stick, it was sweet, and it was delicious and gorgeous at the same time. It made our boy to fulfill all the statements and made this kind of our lady called Mayuvia Vivian to take over the game. And into that kind of the positive manner, the first wife had a very delicious love, very gorgeous love, very meaningful love unto this kind of our boy Mayuguno. But the thick and thin they ever suffered from the previous part, it was not delightful to come to this kind of the second part, because he never knew that the life was of thick and thin at the back. So he had to discuss about what is in front. Don't judge me with my past. Judge me with what I have today. That is the legitimate life of Mayuguno to date. The fact is, when we go back to the records and the books, we heard himself talking about one person is separating him from, separating him with the family. I talked about who is this person. We are still looking for the scripture. Who is this man who has separated him with his family? I talk about all the characters. Are they reflecting? Are they coming to the real value of the time? That this is this is much of the people from the comment section. They have evolved, they have spoken, they have said their own. And I've got only one person is what at the point, but he was having many thoughtful points. And to the real fact, we are still looking for this person. Even me, I don't know. It's from the comment section you will tell me, and you will entitle and know who is this person who is separating Mayuguno with the family. Because right now, the first wife is no longer available to his home. Back to the scripture. Mayuguno break up with Wema, who is the first wife. What made her to go at the first moment before coming back? Let's start with that one. We have outshining her. Money, luxury life, flatment of other ladies, and made Mayuguno to not discover and understand that there's a wife who is at home. He treated her like a trash. Never underestimated that this kind of the things are going to be bringing this and then this. This kind of the obscurement of the time. And outshining now comes when now he started flirting with many of the ladies. And when we go to the scripture, we know after outshining her, we have another reason which is not her type anymore. Because the life we were staying, you cannot sustain me with the life I've got. And that's where the failure is coming from. Where one of the people, they were introduced into YouTube platform and they were not told the impact of the money flow, the impact of investment, the impact of going forward with our own re-estimative way. Whereby much of the people came abrupt and found money. You get money at your own age. Talk about in our older area. You never got money in your small, talk about in your childhood. You are getting money in your adulthood, which is a failure if not taken keenly. Whereby this kind of the oriental, talk about Master KG, never told much of the people whenever you're venturing into this, because he had seen the life, he has seen how the progression of the YouTube brings onto the pocket. He could have already told much of the people, when you are getting to this kind of the moment, things gonna be changing. Things gonna change. He never told much of the people that. He just mentioned, you just do whatever you want and progress. Other things will follow. The backlash of the fall. Talk about looking for our Mzungu. During this kind of the period when Wema was thrown out, there was looking for a specific Mzungu to take care of him, because he understood that this kind of the people supporting him are more valuable than even Wema, the first wife. Now things become so hectic and lunatically not engaged to this kind of the way forward. What do I mean in terms of this? When now they started talking about I have to look for a Mzungu who will asquamarize me, give me whatever Wema was not giving me. Make sure that I want a white skin and I'm black. We have to make sure that we are copyrighting much of the children. You understand? It's a pressure that's coming from the surrounding. When we found that Master KG is having a Mzungu, Talk about Chef Matiko is having a mzungu and they're making it. There's a Vinnie Vincent was having a mzungu during that kind of the periodic table. Talk about there's another boy called VD Jonah is having a mzungu, and many more who are having the wazungus, who are making sure that they are the ones who are making things to happen. So he wanted to go in that system to make sure that his life is changed, because when you want to shoot with a mzungu, they saw it. Whenever you have a mzungu, you can shoot a video here, kisses every time. You can just, anytime you can talk about, babe, can I have it? What do you want, babe? I want the honeycomber. I want to be a honeycomber. I want to exercise my duty as a man. I want to make sure that I'm doing this. It's not an African. Who told you? I give you what? This is daytime. Wait for a night. No, if you cannot use it properly, some people use it. No. That's an African. But whenever you get a mzungu, babe, no, you know, this and then this, I want, no, you know, my journey is in reflecting onto my trouser is shagarabagar, is becoming a donkey, this and this way. So, babe, please make sure that, oh, babe, I'm going to be dying, you understand? And already you understand how Mayuguno was behaving. Sometimes he can even fall down and talk about and put the legs this way. What was the meaning of that one? He can just talk about, oh, babe, you know, yeah, my journey is not becoming something very awesome here. So I'm fainting. He can just start doing this way down there. And also the Mzungu talk about, no, babe, okay, I understand you. Please, let's go then. But let it be quick and short and possible. That's the good about the Mzungu. That's the life Mayuguno needed. But now if you marry an African, hey, babe, I need conjugal rights. This is the time you are looking for it. So it will be chaos and chaotic at that same point. So that's what lured this kind of the boy to talk about. I need a mzungu who can facilitate me in terms of you understand, shaking. He has to understand and have to understand this kind of the positive things. They do have to come. So Mayuguno was looking for mzungu, which was a thing that was making our Wema to feel so guilty and jealous about it. And even she was fed up about that one. And she was talking about, I will not have this kind of the stickness. Talk about love to the baby precious, but not the mom. Much of the times, much of the videos, they were coming between the baby precious and the mom was taken out of the program. Whereby when you come to the realization of the time, you can underhold and you can just uptake it this way. The love had migrated from Wema, our first wife, and it went to baby precious, where now the love had migrated. So there's no more love between the mom and the baby and Mayuguno. So Mayuguno had taken the second love, which is the baby. And this is the fact. To the people who are parents, and you have understand this kind of the resettlement, is coming always. That if you have a girlfriend or you have a boyfriend, mostly it affects the boyfriend. Whenever you have a kid, you are now talking about, have ever seen much of the comment, we are pregnant. Yes, you are pregnant, both of you. Okay, now you go and deliver. You go and deliver. Boy, yeah? Then you come and talk about, now the love started migrating. So it starts migrating from the love that one you had to the mother before the precious baby could come. So that is the affection that made this kind of the man talk about, why do you like eggs but you don't like the chicken on itself? Now it will go this way, and you are using my child whom we have and to get a lot of money, but you cannot share with me. So it made them not to have that kind of a configuration and a communication in that home. That is the fact. The other point. Do you know that Mayuguno has a habit, a cruel habit, an aggressive habit whenever it comes to a woman? You can remember from the second woman, if that is the second woman whom he trusted and talked about, I want you, baby, you are the one, and took the wife from Maja, K.E. You can understand Mayuvia was the girlfriend to Maja KE. That's why the beef started. I saw somebody commenting in the comment section that Dorina should go back to Maja. This is where now the default came from. Much of the people who doesn't know the story. When Mayuguno took Mayuvia from his boyfriend Maja, this is what followed. Maja was embarrassed and talked about, I want to teach you a lesson. Maja started flirting with Dorina, making sure that Mayuguno will feel that pain he was feeling, you taking my girlfriend because of money, because of luxury life, because of people's money to my account. So Maja was hilarious in that one. So he wanted to do what is called picky ponky. Hey, that's where much of now the reaction starts. And even to see Maja cutting the friendship between him and Dorina, it's because Mayuguno now had sent out the second wife called Mayuvia, who had that kind of an engagement that, why are you dealing with my sister? Who could just come and talk about, why are you dealing with my sister? That is Mayuguno asking Maja, why are you dealing with my sister? Maja could say, why did you take my girlfriend? And you knew we were ever going to flirt to this kind of the ladies. We ever knew we were going to the same clubs. We are going and we are checking them. Why did you take her? Yet you knew. And this is now the life it was being progressive. This kind of the boys, they know each other. And each and every, they have shared the common honeycombs. That is the fact. To the real statement, why did Mayuguno take Mayuvia from Maja? It means that there is a circular thing that they were doing together as a whole team. Now, if you calculate back before the downfall of the villa, not Mayuguno, the downfall of the villa, when the reactors came in, much of the people were in friendship. Talk about Mayuguno, Nasto, Master KG, talk about all of these boys. They were together every time they were going for luxury life and dancing to the big clubs. Moving from one place to another for luxury life. But now, what were they aiming? It's this kind of the flatment of the ladies and who is gonna be the Baba Yao. Baba Yao is who is the father of this seducement. That is the default. So when we come back to the real fact, now if Mayuvia was the second selection, that you are now the luxury wife I need as the second wife and I want to settle with you, she was being hidden like a Cherokee drum. You can remember the story of Sergio, how he came out and talked about this kind of the boy is treating the wife like a bang. He can even smoke her. He can even deal with her perpendicularly per unit time. So this kind of the delightful is coming in a way that you have to understand. If he was hitting the second wife, who is the best selection than the first wife? What about the first wife? He was hit like Cherokee drum. And he was so he was being hit like Safari Rally and the Cherokee drum at the road, making sure that whenever you hear the loudest noise, you know that that kind of the drum gonna be busting. So the real fact is the first wife had cried until things are normal. So there was hitting her like a Cherokee drum, which made her to get out. The last point was after the party conflict. What made her to break up with this kind of the wife? Let me tell you this story. You were never told, and I'm telling you today. When Dorina Elisha was having a birthday, a very recent birthday, I think it was in January or February, there were so many people in that party. And in that party, most of the people who were participating there, Mayuguno was not part of the team. He was told there was going to be a party, and the first wife, Wema, was back at his villa. He was living there with him. When he heard that there's a party, 2 days before the party, he went with Nico Buddha to Kisumu. When he went to Kisumu during that time, Nico Buddha reached there and came back and left Mayuguno still in Kisumu. What followed the step? When Nico Buddha reached at the villa of Mayuguno and find the party has lit, people were in lives. Talk about people in life. Kennedy Remedy was there, Ngutu was there, so many people were there. You ever saw such kind of videos coming out? Very delightfully. What was the statement behind it? When Nico Buddha arrived, and Mayuguno was watching the video and he was told with Nico Buddha that, do you know that at your home there's a party and the people are dancing inside your house, Mama Grace's house? Mayuguno called the police in Sirari station, Isibane station, told them that go to my home, take everybody out of that home. Because of what? They are dancing inside Mama Grace's house and so many people they are there, and Mayuguno said that he had not been notified that people will come to his home without his acknowledgement, which was a false. What happened? Did the police arrive? Coming to that statement. When Nico Buddha found that people are having cameras everywhere, people are shaking nyashes. People are this way. People are shaking east to west vigorously. Have you ever seen a person shaking the nyash vigorously? This is the statement I'm telling you. People are shaking like safari rally. Then Nico Buddha could not feel that. He had to feel that, why is Mayuguno not available and people are using his house? But the fact is, it's the sister who is having the party, and even the mother to Mayuguno was available. Not lying. Then Nico Buddha rushed out and went after reporting the issue to the bosses. Now, after that, people were told, before the police could arrive, there was a slight talk that don't bring the police to evacuate people, but let people get out of Mama Grace's house and do the party outside. Did you notice that? People moving from inside Mama Grace's house and came out of the compound to make that party there. And when the cake was now being cut to be fed, Rolina Elisha to feed the parents and to feed Mayuguno, who is the brother. Mayuguno was not available. She fed the mother. She fed precious baby, who is Mayuguno's baby, on behalf of Mayuguno. But the wife Wema was there, but Dorina refused. Meaning there's a crack too of the moment in between. Why could Dorina Elisha not feed Wema as the first wife who could be representing Mayuguno, but she fed baby Precious as the only baby representing Mayuguno there? A default, a heck coming in, a havoc statement. It's just evolving there. If you can take it keenly, why? And most of the people, whenever the cameras were rolling, my Kennedy Remedy there, much of the people, Kino was there, the brother. Talk about the Ngutu, they were there. So many people, they were there. Even Dorina Elisha herself, she was shooting the videos meticulously and effusively. Much of the people started commenting, is that Wema, Mayuguno's first wife? We have seen her. Yeah, she's the one. She was living there in a way that she was not let to appear in the cameras. One statement was, if she appear in the statement of the camera, she will be hit like a safari, like a Cherokee drum. So that day was the death of the jackal. Now our lady Wema was found in the video to that kind of the catastrophic moment of making much of the enjoyment. Now she was put in the camera without knowing. Now when Mayuguno came back, the fight started, talking about why did you appear in the camera, and I told you it's only the baby Precious should appear in the camera. Why and where did you come from for you to appear? So hitting her like a Cherokee drum, that is it. So this kind of the woman could not sustain that kind of the havocment, the aggressiveness, the mistreatment that was coming from the husband. She had to leave the villa. That was the statement. She said, if you don't like me and you like my daughter, even my daughter, I'm letting her go out of this. So I'm going with her, and we'll know whom are you going to take care. You know, even the law, the SOT law in Kenya says, the baby, if she is or he is below 18 years, should be protected with the mother, when the father will be responsible for the support, extra support, and making sure that everything is coming out decisive. The Wema had to make much of the retitlement, and she waited until Mayuguno left for town. And the good fact, she had to leave the villa with everything, including the baby Precious. Where did she go? She went back to the village where she was born, so as she can still go on with her life, because right now things are changing and money has changed our boy and is now turning to be wild, that he need a mzungu in his life. Why is it happening that way? That was a failure and mistreatment of the failure that came in of the downfall of the jackal. And before our Wema could just leave the villa, she made sure that because they are sleeping together and they have ever put their own umbilical cords at the same time, because whenever you put your umbilical cord, you know, understand now there's up and down. There's pa 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 tan tan pam pam pa, and there's a pakam pakacha karankan tan 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 tan. You understand? Whenever you hear such kind of the songs, you understand which kind of the moment is. It's just squeezing the body is squeezed up and down, making sure that there is the influence of the umbilical cords meeting at the center. And there is more. You think about it, just some of the cows are put in the yoke for the first time. You can get the statement. That is when I talk about, if you have ever slept in one bed, to get out of this kind of the sarcasm, it's very hard sometimes. That's why even if you break up, one day you will ever meet and the love will start afresh, but you'll have that kind of the mistreatment again. When Mama Wema, talk about Mama Precious, could get out of Mayuguno's life, she went with the best tactic she ever evolved. The best tactic she sold is because of when Mayuguno is out for brushing teeth, yeah man, she had to access the phone and take the key donors Mayuguno is ever speaking with, and she wrote the names and the numbers to the paper and hid the paper. When Mayuguno came, was prepared to take the tea and left, and Mama Precious started arranging her own luggages to have a foot on the road. And when she went with one key value: the sponsors of Mayuguno. Are you with me? So this is another step that's taken the place right now. Yeah, man. Now the next chapter followed. Now Mama Wema, Mama Precious, she has left to the village. Now the jackal is still stranded at the villa, talking about who has taken my wife out, who has chased her. he came in the video and said, guys, I'm depressed. Even he was about to commit the suicidal when he just went to his own villa, which is a one-story building, and wanted to throw himself down. Stupidity of the highest order. Better you go to a very high tree, throw yourself down and talk about, yes, this is a mystery of myself. Somebody can understand. But a one floor, you are joking with death. You are just even putting Satan in an engagement. You are measuring him. So you should understand Andrew's statement. He came and talked about, I'm stressed, I'm depressed. The only wife she has gone with my baby, Precious. Now I'm depressed. I feel like I can just drink poison and things could just get squidolized. Who was part of the program to put him down and cool him down was Nico Buddha, Kennedy the Remedy. To this time, Gutu was still available to make him cool and stable. But what next after that? The wife went away with some donors' contacts. Now the wife is at their home. Why did she go with this kind of the contacts? Number one, communicating with them for the support, communicating with the donors so as she can get the support of now turning and changing the reciprocal code or the transform code from Mayuguno now, because where the baby Precious is, it's where the donation is going. So she was calculative than even Mayuguno thought about because of the laxity and lunatic, and also we talk about insanity of sometimes. And that's why I want to pump some knowledge to his empty head so he can just understand. The baby Precious was the kismet of him. So the mother keep and went with the baby Precious. Much of the people who were communicating to the wife had a brain than Mayuguno how he thinks about, because money is not brain. You can have money with less brain. And you cannot have money, but the brain is ringing. That is the tactful way the woman did. When she went with the baby, she had to communicate that I am the one having baby Precious, and she started contacting this kind of the supporters. Hey, I am Wema. Yeah, you know, you're Tanzanians. Hey, I'm Wema. Yeah, and English was not Englishing. So she was looking for a person who can translate the language of English to Kiswahili. They ask, the translation is made. This was the woman, talk about the wife to Nico Buddha, was the one to translate the language from English, but that one of absconding, the talk about, it's called is and was English, which was being spoken. And even the donors, they were allowed to speak in a well-synthesized language, not vocabularizing language. So as she can understand in a simple ever way technique, or even write a text in a simple way ever possible. Not talking with nose. Had to communicate very verbal, making sure that the words could come out clearly, so as Nico Buddha's wife could understand and translate them. And the donors started asking. And much of the people could ask, how did he, I have just told about, I took the phone of the husband and perceived to get much of this kind of the numbers and retrieved the numbers of the donors and went with them. And went back to the village with baby Precious. That is the point. Look for the support for the child of the school. Because the key point was to look for the money, because she went back with no money. Because the money was not left behind with Mayuguno at that same time. So she had to make sure that she's looking for an alternative for her to get money as the child will go back to school. The key point, do you get it? Thank you. So, when now the communication started coming, and talked about who is going to talk, because the English is not Englishing at that point. So the Mama Precious, she's not understanding English. Who is this person going to be translating the language? the Nico Buddha's wife could translate much of the English. And it was played down level, because even when Nico Buddha is going back to his home, he could not be told. Even the third kind of wife, she was told to be silent as water. She was being told to be silent as water in the pot, so as nothing could leak out, because anything can leak out. She will be mistreated. And that is how the things went. To the 28 minutes, and I'm going to be taking these ones. When now they started talking about, we want to support you. Can you give us a person who we will be communicating to and getting money and sending donation to, so as he or she can be giving you and making sure that whatever we send it to you, it will reach you through or via that middleman. The wife of Mayuguno started looking for the women and the people in his village, in her village. But when she could just propose that I've got this kind of the person, they talked about, no. I think Umaga was part of the program. Umaga, how do you see Umaga? No. Umaga, no, we have never been seeing Umaga every time. So we don't trust, we have never worked with Umaga. So they refused about Umaga's resolution. I use Umaga because much of the people can just understand Umaga from that area, so they can just understand what I mean. Like I talked about an example like Umaga. Can I use Umaga? No. We have never seen Umaga in the platform. We cannot use him because we don't know him. Then she was told, look for another person. When you get, tell us. Again, she strives. I've got this. Can you trust? No, we don't trust that. Now the sponsors started thinking about something. I'm coming to that, what the sponsors talked and how they communicated to that. Leave it at that side, I'm coming for it. When Mayuguno realized that the real deal about her wife after the law transactions flowing, now Mayuguno started reacting like he is stressed, he is depressed, because and the mortality rate is going high, because now he realized that this kind of the woman was the kismet. Now the money flow is gone, because the donors have been told about I am back to the village and Mayuguno has not been taking care of me and the baby precious. We are dying of hunger. So the donors were converted from that converge to another conveying moment, so they can just make sure that they're now supporting Mama Precious. So when he realized that now the money is not flowing the way it was, he decided to know that now things are bad. He decided now to make videos talking about depressed and I'm about to kill myself. That is the point. Now started talking about, now I'm going to be marrying a Mzungu. Why is it coming to that? He was confused with Alexis. That is the point again. Because now after checking that now this wife has gone, now he started talking about now I'm single, I want a Mzungu. And to that fantastic moment, the Wazungus are not stupid. The ladies are not stupid. I like you, the Wazungu. I like you. To the real fact, I like you. To the real fact, because you'll be this kind of the lady called Alexis. She took that moment, talk about an opportunist, and talked about now this is opportunity. Mayuguno is looking for a Mzungu. Hey, how are you? I'm with Vinny Vincent. So can you come to Nairobi so they can just cherish? I have been seeing you. Yeah, come. No. Mayuguno now with too much of stupidity, pew, to Nairobi. What came out? They went there, they saw now Vincent was having a Prado, a white one, and they talked about now this is now what we want now, this is now the life. And the Mzungu Alexis was to make sure that she is putting in the box Mayuguno, and Mayuguno could not know and understand that he was in the use, and he thought about now I've got a girlfriend. This kind of the lady was so meticulous. She was even letting herself to be kissed like a safari rally. She was to be even marinated the way you want. And you can even handle and hold her the way you can just need. You understand that kind of statement? Because she understood the only property and the only point she could get to Mayuguno is by getting herself relaxed so as things can get in and in and in. Mayuguno was not. And even Mayuguno could not even understand. Again, Lady J was part of the program to take over Alexis again. It's a man, 8-man society. Because after Mayuguno being used in Nairobi, and again Lady J was found in Nairobi, they had to make videos and contents coming out. Getting me to the point? So what again, when they came back to the village, even they had to go back, even Vincent with the Prado, they had to go to Mayuguno's villa and shoot some videos, and Alexis shooted. Right now, Alexis, she is in Rwanda with a new boyfriend who he has to use again. You can never date this kind of the ladies. My friend Mayuguno, can you understand? You left the baby precious for this kind of the Muzungu. Now she's out, and you are now stuck to the real fatum point of not recognizing what is following. Donors looked for a person who they can use to send money to and give to Wema. That is the point I wanted to come back. Now, the Wazungu saw that this kind of the lady cannot get the real person whom we can trust and make sure that we can send much of the money to, so as she can get the money easily. They looked for one person in Nyabohanse, in the village, part of his own team of Rindima, so as they can send much of the money to and make sure that he is driving the money to Mama Precious and make sure that he is opening her the businesses, and a lot of money was sent, more than $5,000 to his account, so as he can take care of the baby Precious. And he was a messenger. He was sent because the real person who was meant to help is no longer engaging in that business. So they had to select an alternative to make sure that the person is getting forward. Who is this person they selected as donors, a whole of the group? Question mark. Episode 3, roaming in and coming to you one-on-one to know how did they track them and how the communication was. Where was this kind of the person when the communication was spoken that you are the one we want to use? So as you can just make sure that you are supplementing much of the things to this Mom Precious. And how did it go after now Mayuguno recognizing this kind of the person? Now he's coming out of the video talking about he has separated him with the family. Episode 3 coming in. Keep it tuned, keep it locked. Coming in, the real G.